Hello and welcome to the webinar today. It is April 15th, 2015, and today is actually, as I'm looking at that date, this is tax day for us in the United States. It's the day that our taxes are due for the government. So a little bit kind of a painful day for some here in the US, but we're grateful for the services that we get through our government. All right, so what we have here today is we're going to go over some listening exercises here at the beginning. And the way we do these webinars is every 2 weeks I have a live webinar for our students at pronunciationpro.com and for our members of the program. So the program is a 12-week course, and part of that course is being able to come to these webinars and get your questions answered and get a little bit of personalized feedback from me. And so I appreciate you being here. And what I like to do is do a short little lesson at the beginning, and then we'll open it up for questions. So as you're here and as you are listening, I want you to think of the questions that you have, think of the areas that are are the pain points or areas that you feel like you're a little bit more weak on and could use a little bit more instruction on, and ask those questions and see what we can do here today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on in. This is me. I'm Annie Rudin, and this is my little family, my husband and my 3 kids. I like to give a little bit of, as often as we have a new picture, but this is actually a new picture from Easter, celebrating Easter. And so we have 3 boys, and it's busy and it's crazy, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm also if you're new to the Pronunciation Pro course, I am a certified speech language pathologist, and so it gives me some unique training to be able to look at your speech patterns and your language patterns and see what we can do to help you be better understood, and more importantly, to be confident in the way that you speak. Because that's what I find is that as you strengthen your pronunciation skills and your fluency skills, and you're becoming more clear and accurate in your English, that's when you make the most improvement. Let's see, I'm getting feedback that the audio is disconnected. So if you can hear me, will you kind of raise your hand there? There's like a hand raising option there. Okay. All right, I think we're back. We had a little bit of a glitch with the audio. So let me step back just a bit, and I was just mentioning that with this program, what I've found is that as you strengthen your pronunciation and fluency skills in English, that's where that confidence comes, in being able to speak the way you want, have others understand you, and I'm a huge believer in the power of confidence, and how when you're confident in your speech patterns, that it really does help you and kind of lift you into a different life, a different way of interacting with others. And so that's what we're trying to accomplish here, is to help you build those skills so that you can be confident in whatever situation you're in, and be able to really show your skills, show your talents, and be successful. Oh, and there's another little picture of my little dudes. That's Andrew, Jimmy, and Luke, from oldest to youngest. All right, this is our team. Gideani helps me with a lot of the administration, and Andrea is one of our trainers. So if you're in the Plus or the Premier packages, you're going to be working with Andrea, and she's pretty great. The topic today that I'm going to go into is, are you listening? And basically what we're going to do is some listening exercises. Now I like to refer to this as active listening. And active listening essentially is we listen all day long. We're hearing things and people all day long, but how often do we stop and we exercise that listening muscle, and really listen and really dive into what exactly you're hearing and be very specific on listening for specific things. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to challenge your listening skills, and we are going to dive into vowels, okay, and listening for those vowels and specific vowels. All right, so as a background, let's kind of back up and talk about the vowel rules in English. I'm not sure exactly where you are in that. Excuse me, I don't know exactly where you are in the program. It actually does help if you want to write in what week you're in the program, or what week you're concentrating on in the program. But in around week 5, you start jumping into the vowels, and we talk a lot about the vowels, and we talk about the rules, the vowel rules, or when to pronounce, or when to use a short vowel and a long vowel more specifically. So let's talk about those rules for a minute. Short vowels, and we'll be talking about what exactly is a short vowel. But when I'm talking about short vowels, I'm talking about a vowel that has one vowel letter alone. Okay, so with consonants around it, it can be either one vowel in a word, kind of like jet. Jet, there's only one vowel in there. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. So one vowel in there with a couple of consonants. It's always going to say its short vowel name. I guess I should never say always because there's always exceptions to the rules, but for the most part, we have one vowel letter. It's going to be a short vowel. Now, we can also separate, if there are other vowels in the word, it can be short, a vowel can be short if there are no other vowels around it, meaning that it has to be separated by at least 2 consonants. So like in this word pepper, we have 2 P's before we have another vowel. Okay, so that first vowel is going to be a short vowel pronunciation. Now the long vowel rules is that a vowel is long, or pronounced with a long pronunciation, when you have 2 vowels together. And when that's the case, the first vowel says its name. So the saying goes, when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. So when 2 vowels are right next to each other, then that first one is going to say its name. So like in this example, please, we have the E and the A right next to each other, please. So that E is going to say its name, E, please, 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 okay? Or a long vowel can be the way we pronounce a vowel if there are 2 vowels separated only by 1 consonant. So you have a vowel, a consonant, and then another vowel. Okay, so Pete, for example, we have that E, Pete, and then the silent E at the end. Okay, so those are the short and the long vowels. Now we'll talk about the short vowels, we'll talk about the long vowels specifically and what I mean by those. All right, so for the long vowels, it's not necessarily saying we say them longer, or longer in duration. We don't say a, and then with an a, we don't just say ah. We can say ah, and it's still a short vowel. So what I mean by long vowel is the movement in my mouth. It's a longer movement. A, and I'm going to go through these vowel sounds. A, I, U, O, E, oo, ow, oi. Okay, longer movement, a little bit more to those vowels. Now, here's part of what I want to do with this listening exercise. I want you to pay really close attention here. What we're going to do is I'm going to say a word. I want you to identify which vowel you're hearing, okay? And all the vowels are up there at the top, and then we'll talk specifically about the vowels and why it is that way. So the word steak, steak, steak. Which vowel sound are you hearing there? Steak, steak. And you can, say it to yourself. You can write it down. You can put it in the questions box. But that's the long A, steak. Now, here's kind of where it gets tricky, is that the way it's spelled, following the rules, it really should be steak, right? Steak, steak. So this is an exception of the rule. I just wanted to kind of point it out as an exception. But because we're listening more to how it sounds than how it's spelled, okay? In this exercise, and I should have said that at the beginning, but in this exercise, I want you to think less about the way it's spelled and more about the way it sounds, okay? So we talked about the rules. 80% of English pronunciation follows the rules, but I do need you to really tune your ear and be listening more than you are just reading it, okay? So steak. How about this one? Recruit, recruit. And I'm looking for the vowel that is bolded. So recruit, recruit, recruit. Which vowel sound is that? Recruit. Okay, so it's actually the ooh, recruit, recruit. So it's that ooh, ooh sound, recruit, recruit. And I'm using Rudin phonetics here, and I'm sorry if that confuses anybody, because I'm not necessarily using the International Phonetic Alphabet way. So going up through the vowels again, it's A, I, U, O is the sounds. So whenever I do a capital letter, it means it says its name. The sound says its name. And then E, U, ow, oi. All right, let's try the next one. Excuse, 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 excuse. I'll give you a second. I like definitely write it into the questions box because I like being able to see whether you're getting it or not. Excuse, excuse. Okay, so this one is actually the you, excuse. So it's saying you, that letter U or that sound U. Excuse. Now, this actually is also following the invisible Y rule that you learn in week 2. When you have a consonant and then the letter U, you put a Y sound to kind of transition into that U. Excuse, excuse, you. Instead of excuse, excuse, excuse. How about this one? Promote, 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 promote. What is that second vowel there? Promote, promote. Good, okay. So it's O, promote, promote, promote. Okay, so here's another question I want you to type in. Is this first or second syllable stress? Promote, promote, promote. First or second syllable stress. So that's in week 3 if you haven't quite gotten to it. All right, good. So second syllable stress, you're absolutely right. If it was first syllable stress, it would say promote, promote, with that first vowel getting the more full pronunciation. But because it's second syllable stress, it's going to be promote. We're going to reduce that first syllable and that first vowel in that first syllable and give more emphasis to that second vowel, promote. All right, good. Okay, ready? Gradually, gradually, gradually. Which vowel are you hearing at the end there? Gradually. Good. Good, good. Okay, the E sound. E, gradually, gradually. Exactly. Now, here's a little rule for you, is that whenever a word has more than 3 letters in it and ends in that Y, then it's going to have that E pronunciation in it. So like happy, family, gradually, all of those have more than 3 letters. But if it has 3 or less letters in the word and it ends in that Y, then it changes that from E to I. So like try and buy and let's see what else. My, okay? My, by, try are going to have that Y is going to have an I pronunciation. But if it has more than 3 letters, it always gets that E at the end. All right. Okay, time, time, time. Which one? Which vowel sound is that? Time, time. Good, good, good. You guys are getting it? Okay, time, long I, time. And this is one of those, for some reason, a lot of my clients have a hard time getting that full I pronunciation when we have that more nasal sound with the M or N. Okay, so I, make sure you're getting it before the M or the N sound. So a lot of times what I'm hearing is like tum, 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 instead of time. Okay. All right, founder, 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 founder. Which one are we hearing there? Founder. All right. Okay. So this one is actually, yeah, you guys are getting it. Fow, ow, ow. So Olubenga is that sound. You had written down the so it would be this one would actually be ow, ow, ow. So that difference, ow, fow, founder. All right, employee, 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 employee. What's that vowel there? Employee. Anyone? All right, I'll tell you. Okay, it's the oi, oi, oi. So kind of a little bit tricky there because I was referring to that vowel right before. So employ, and then we go into the E. Employee, ye, employee. All right. So really listening to that employee. So with this word, you can have it first syllable stress, employee, or you can have employee. Okay. It has a French origin, so sometimes that last syllable is the one that gets the stress in it. All right. Okay, so now let's get into the short vowels. And I'm taking a lot more of the time that I usually do at these beginning of these webinars, but short vowels are a, I, ah, eh. Okay, so do you notice how there's just not as much movement in my mouth? A, I, ah, eh. And they're very similar to each other. So the short vowels get tricky. So let's get into this. Salary, salary. Which one is that? Salary, salary. So that one's a, sa, sa. It's not salary with a long A. Salary, salary. Budget, 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 budget. Okay, so a lot of these words that I'm choosing are exceptions to the rules so that you're listening more than you're reading. Okay, so budget, budget, budget. This one's a really tricky one, okay? So this one is actually budget, budget, versus if it were the E sound, the short E, it would be budget, budget, budget versus budget, budget, it. Okay, so you're hearing that. All right, how about this one? Develop, develop. And these two vowels have the same sound, vowel sound in it. Develop, 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 develop. So how do you do the schwa blend with it? Olubenga, the schwa vowel. Let me unmute you. Hi, Olubenga.
Yes.
Hi. So tell me what you mean by the
Hi.
schwa blend with it. Which word are you referring to?
I like the salary, the second one, the A. I think that one is sure.
Yeah, so salary, yeah, the second vowel becomes that and really what happens is on the reduced syllable of a word, so like salary is first syllable stress, and the second syllable then salary, because it's not that stress syllable, a lot of times what happens is that that vowel gets reduced to that schwa, like you're saying, that sound.
Okay.
Okay, so like budget, that's kind of, budget has that sound in the first syllable because it's a U, it has the U, and so it's going to be the but then
Okay.
develop, yeah. So good question.
Okay. Thank you.
Daddy, could I say hi? All right, so develop is going to be that like that schwa that Olubenga was just talking about. Develop, develop. So not always just the way it's spelled, it's a lot of the way it sounds. So instead of develop, it's usually pronounced develop. So a lot of these words, what you have to do is really turn on your listening and think, how are people pronouncing it? There's a way it's spelled, but how are people pronouncing that? Okay, how about this one? Flawless, 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 flawless. What sound is that? Good, it's the ah. So that short ah. And the key with this one, ah, is to make that jaw drop enough. So ah, the closest ones, and ah. So that schwa, sound that we were just doing in develop. Ah. The difference is just dropping that jaw a little bit more. Flawless. Good. All right, assumption. Which one is this one? All right, this one's that schwa sound again. Assumption. Good. Okay, resume. Where's the vowel here? Resume. Good, it's that sound. Resume. Good. How about this one? Interested. So there's actually three sounds in here that have the same, three vowels that have the same vowel sound in here. Interested. So this one's interested, short I, interested. How about taxes, since it's tax day? Taxes. We got that sound. Problem, sorry, I kind of gave that away. Problem. It has the sound. Problem. And how about suggest? Okay, that one is the actual sound. Okay, so some of these last ones I made sure that it was the same as the letter so you could actually see how that applies. But good. Okay, so now I want to make sure that we're addressing questions. So I'm actually going to, we can come back to this part. I, back to this part after we answer questions, but I just want to make sure that we're getting your questions answered. So I'm going to actually, let's see, I'm going to just go ahead and get into the questions real quick, starting at the beginning. So if you have a question, make sure you're writing it down, and then if we kind of get through all the questions, then I can jump back into, and we were just going to do more phrases, kind of the vowels and phrases. So Steve, let's see, he has a question. He joined so it's more kind of how the program works, but he joined the program 10 weeks ago, but he's kind of having a hard time kind of keeping up with the program. So at that pace, which a lot of my students do. And uh, so he's asking, he just started week 3. The question is, do I need to pay for it if I could not finish this program until the 12th week? So what you can do is, depending on which program you're in, if you're the monthly subscription, then the monthly subscription will just continue on until you finish the program and decide to be done with it. And then you request to cancel your membership. If you're thinking, oh, this is going for a while, I'm going to take my time and I want to come back and review it and things, the yearly package is a really good idea for that. To do the basic yearly package, just one-time fee, and you get the program for a whole year. And so that's a good option if you think, oh, this is going to take me longer. And also another thing is that we are going to be releasing the alumni program, and if you have a yearly membership, that's just included with your membership. If you have a monthly membership, then it's just included, with the $20 a month monthly membership. And the alumni program is after you finish the 12 weeks, then on the 13th week, you go into these additional exercises and practice and get additional resources to continue to practice what you've been learning and continue to get new help and practice with other things. All right, so let's see, going down the questions, hopefully that answers that question. Let me go through here. All right, Maria's asking, how can I improve my speaking skills? So do you need, and let's talk about this a little bit, because I think that idea, speaking skills, can mean a number of different things. So Maria, I'm going to unmute you. Maria, are you there?
Yes.
Hi. So welcome, welcome. um, So when you say improve my speaking skills, are you talking more about your pronunciation and fluency, or are you talking about, sometimes it's, oh, I get really nervous and I have a hard time, getting out what I need to say. When you say improve your speaking skills, what exactly do you mean?
I mean, sometimes I getting nervous, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how should I start my conversation.
Yeah, so I think that this is, a shared problem with, with all of the students in the course, is there's just a little bit of that reservation. You're not as sure of yourself when you're speaking to people. Some of that has to do sometimes with how comfortable you are with English, and sometimes that has more to do how comfortable you are with your pronunciation and feeling like, oh, I can speak English, I can say what I need to say, but others aren't understanding me as well. um, and I think that for both of those, so much has to do with practice. You have to be practicing, you have to be trying, you have to, get up and try, because if you're not practicing, you're not putting yourself in situations to really talk to people,
Yes.
then you're not improving, right? So it's those,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yes. Uh,
go ahead.
I mean, sometimes I practice your program,
Mm-hmm.
and I repeat it again and again, and try to pronounce these mm, uh, exams or the paragraphs well. but these are all short sentence, and I don't know how should I use them together.
Yeah, so you're at the point where you're able to say the sentences and the paragraphs and kind of these short things, but then there's that jump between that and real life, right? And being able to use it while you're speaking to people, right? So that's
Right.
yeah, so that's where you want to get into. So I give you materials to kind of bring your awareness to specific sounds and specific ideas, but you do have to carry that into the things that you're working on in your daily life anyway. So if you read the news every day, you have the news that you're reading, read it out loud. If you're if you're reading a book in English and you're just, book for fun or for school or for, something that you're studying, read it out loud. So that's going to bring those skills that you're learning in the course. It's going to bring it into your normal life, but you're still able to focus on what lessons you're learning in the pronunciation program. So let's say that you were learning about the vowels, okay, and you're learning about the short vowels in your lesson. Then what I want you to do is, as you're preparing a presentation for work, or you're just reading certain things in English, I want your awareness and your practice time to be reading those things and practicing those things while you're thinking about short vowels, and kind of bringing your awareness to that and thinking, how am I, where are the short vowels, and where, how am I pronouncing them? Okay, so there is that jump between the materials I provide and then needing to use your own materials that are specific to you, and practicing that way as well.
Well, right.
Does that
I
make
got it. Thank
got
you.
it? Yeah. So good question. I think that's a common question, is how do we kind of bridge that gap and move it into normal life? And that's exactly what I want you to be doing. Okay?
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, Maria. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go through, find some other. Okay, so Edelson, let's see. I have a little bit difficulty to pronounce. Oh, excuse me. Okay. He says, I have a little bit difficulty to pronounce the words with final M and N. I don't see the difference between them. Okay, very, very good question. And I am actually going to, I'm going to move into, let's see. Let's go into our worksheet here so I can write a few of these. So M and N, very similar sounds, okay? So we have the M sound and the N sound. So first let's talk about a little bit about these sounds so that you can kind of visualize what's happening with these sounds, and then we'll do some sound awareness exercises. So with the M, what's happening, and if you can see my video, my lips are coming together. And M and N, the reason that you're having a hard time hearing the difference is because they're both nasal sounds, what we call nasal sounds. So what's happening is the sound is coming through our nose instead of our mouth. So most sounds in English are going to come through our mouth, but the M and the N and the ing, the ing ending, are coming through your nose. So So what's happening with the M sound is we're getting the lips together, and our teeth inside with our lips together are our mouth is kind of hollow inside, so that you're getting this very hollow sound, whereas the N sound, your tongue is coming up and cutting off the airflow as it comes and cuts off from on the roof of your mouth. So your mouth is open. So the difference between this one is that it's not as a hollow as the other one, but very similar. And so it is definitely an interesting one. So let's do gum and gun. ham, and some of these are not going to be real words. Han is not really a word, but so Cam is sometimes a name, so can. So let's do a few of these. I'm going to, Edelson, if you're okay with me unmuting you. Edelson, are you there?
Okay, I'm here.
Hi.
It's a great pleasure to talk to you today.
Good, good. I'm glad to have you here. Okay, so the M and the N. So here's what I want to do, and everybody can follow along and kind of do this, but let's doing an listening exercise with these three groups, okay? So I'm going to say one of these words, and I want you to tell me, am I saying the first word or the second word, okay? All right, so go ahead here. So I'm going to cover my mouth because it's kind of a giveaway when you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so how about this one? Gun, gun, gun.
The second word.
Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to contrast the two. So I'm going to say the first word, then the second word, first word, second word. So I want you to kind of listen to those, the contrast there. Okay, so when they're right next to each other, a lot of times it's like, oh, okay, I hear it. Okay, ready? Gum, gun, gum, gun, gum, gun. Okay, so what's happening is that the sound is kind of pushed in the front for the M sound and back for the N sound a little bit. So think of that. Let's do the next one. So I'm going to do han, 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 han.
Ham. First word.
Okay, so that one was the second one, han. So ham, ham would be the first one. So let me contrast them right next to each other. Ham, han.
Ham, han.
Ham, han.
Ham, han.
Yeah, so you're saying it. I hear a difference in the way you're saying it. But it's just a matter of hearing it, and I understand that it's more a problem about hearing it than actually saying it, because the mouth is different, so you know where to put your mouth, but it's more exercising the hearing part of it. Okay, let's do the third one. Okay, ready? Cam, 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 cam.
First word?
Yep, so it's the first one, cam. So let me contrast them, first and then second. Cam, can, cam, can, cam, can. Okay? So what I want you to do is to kind of think of words that are similar in what we call minimum pair contrast is what this is. It's basically kind of coming up with words where the first part of the word is the same, but the only difference is either the M or the N. Okay? So you want to think of like tam, tan, tan, kind of those type of sounds. And if you can get like a native speaker to then, come up with a list of 10 words. And then if you can get a native speaker to say them for you and just kind of practice and then have them say tam, tan, tam, tan, and do that through, 2 or 3 times, a lot of times that will help you, oh, okay, I'm hearing it now. And it's just that exercise for the ears, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, but really as you're saying it and you're pronouncing it, make sure that your mouth is getting into those positions, those specific positions, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks, Edelson. All right, let's see. Okay, good. Okay, let's see. Filmson, let's see, he says, can we go over the T and D sound at the end of words? Every time I say wheat, people think I'm saying weed. I can't figure out how to say the T sound without releasing the sound. Good. So a lot of this, the T's and the D's at the end of the word are very, very tricky because a lot of native speakers will actually sometimes drop the ending of the sound. But my advice to you as a non-native English speaker is to pronounce them as much as you can, or I guess what I should say is I always want you to get your mouth in position for that ending sound. So like wheat, wheat versus weed, weed, okay? Wheat, weed, wheat. So the difference between these two sounds, two words, is, you know, that T or a D, obviously. So weed, weed. So if he's kind of dropping that and just kind of dropping off the ending sound, and instead of getting that T sound, then you're going to kind of get that D sound. And the reason for that is the vowel is voiced. Okay, so you have a voiced vowel. So what happens is if you're kind of, just dropping off the sound or not fully pronouncing that T sound at the end, then that voiced sound from the vowels is going to carry over to the ending sound, weed, weed, instead of wheat, wheat. So I'm going to put it in a sentence. So we ate wheat bread, and actually we ate wheat bread has that T at the end of ate as well. We ate wheat bread. Okay, we ate wheat bread. We ate wheat. So that kind of a native speaker, the way that we say ate, we very, very rarely say ate. But if that's something that people are misunderstanding you on, then I would recommend you say ate. We ate wheat bread, and kind of release that T sound. Ate wheat bread, wheat bread, wheat bread, wheat bread, wheat bread. A lot of it's contextual. So Filmson, let's see. I'm going to unmute you. Okay, Filmson, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so say this sentence for me. We ate wheat bread.
We ate wheat bread.
Okay, so I can see there needs to be more of a release there for the T, wheat bread.
Wheat.
Wheat bread.
Wheat bread.
Yeah, so there needs to be a little bit more of a release on the T. And what you see is if you're having, people are confusing that, and you're like, oh, they think I'm saying weed, then you look at that and you say, what's the difference between wheat and weed? And the difference is that T sound. So you got to think, okay, then I got to release that sound. I need to make sure that I'm releasing that sound more so that they don't confuse the two. Okay.
Okay.
Are
Sounds
there
good.
any
I'll
other
keep.
Are there any other words at the end of with a T or a D ending that you have problems with?
No, I think this is everything else seems to be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So yeah, get that release. If that's where people are confused, then make it as clear as possible. Wheat. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Leather and lather. I can't see much of a difference. Okay. Actually, this is Edelson again. Great. So let's see. Edelson, I'm going to unmute you again. So say these words for me. Leather, lather. So Edelson, you there?
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, so say those two for me.
Lather and lather.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is that word, lather, on both of them. So instead of leather with a short here, I'm hearing with an vowel. Okay, so those are the two. That's the difference between them. So kind of like let, get, set, leather, lather. Say those for me.
Lather and lather.
So do this for me.
Lather, lather.
Okay, so I'm still hearing this. So
Lather.
Okay, so just say the sound.
Lather.
Just say the sound for me. So I'm hearing So push it back. Yeah, there it is. So let's say bet.
Bet.
Say let.
Let.
Then do leather.
Leather.
That's it. leather. So kind of think of that as you got to push it back and get let, leather. So now say the two.
Leather. Okay. Leather. Leather.
Mm-hmm.
Leather.
So
It's very difficult.
yeah, so leather, lather. So if you think of it, is kind of pushed back at the back of the throat. La, and la, that kind of comes down. La. Okay. So that's the trick. Yeah.
Lather and ladder.
Okay, still a little bit tricky. So what I want you to do is in week 7 is when we go over these short vowels in detail. What week are you in?
I'm currently I'm learning the wiki 4.
Okay, so in week 7 you're gonna get more into those short vowels, and I really want you to concentrate on getting that sound back. Okay.
Okay, I'm looking forward to learn that.
Okay. Yes, that'll be good. All right. Thanks. Good question. Okay. Let's see. So what about the pronunciation of English? Okay, that's a good. So there's kind of that vowel, but it's more. So English is pronounced ing, and actually ing. It's kind of like the ing, ing sound. So ing sound has more of that e. So like ing, English, English, ing. So think of it as the same as like playing, running, English. Okay, good question, Maria. Okay. Okay, so Olubenga says, I know it takes time to master all these rules, but I want to say I'm happy I spoke before an audience of about 800 native speakers with a lot of compliments and commendations that have really made me believe in myself that things will be getting better and better. So let me just tell you all that Olubenga has been through the whole course and he worked so hard. He went through the plus package, and so we were able to kind of see him week by week progress. And he's come a long, long way. And so that is wonderful news. Congratulations. Says, thank you. I'm aware of ways of speaking and being understood by native speakers. The program helps me to be cautious of what I need to say, or conscious of what I need to say. Hey, I'm so happy to hear things like that. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so proud of you. That's wonderful. And that's exactly the power of what can happen is you get up, you're confident, you're clear, and it gives you that confidence in knowing I'm getting better and better. That's so wonderful. Okay, so Juan says, I did the pronunciation training in my university, but I missed the rhythm of English section. If you can explain a bit of where I can find that in your notes, I will appreciate it. Okay, so Juan, starting in week 3, we start talking about different skills that are part of the rhythm of English. So rhythm of English, when we're talking about the rhythm of English, we're talking about a combination of word stress, sentence stress, intonation, there's pace, there's linking and pausing. All of these things we build week by week. From weeks 3 till 7, you're learning these different skills. And then beyond that, then you're kind of combining them and seeing how they all work together. And that's the part that I feel like in the alumni program, we're going to get more and more into and get more and more practice with and ways of looking at it, because there's so many ways to kind of, as I've worked with my live clients, there's so many ways to describe it and talk about it and practice it. And, I definitely go through it in the 12-week course, and you get a very firm understanding of how rhythm goes. But it's also just there, it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of listening and being able to hear that. So it's that combination of word stress, sentence stress, intonation, linking and pausing that really help all of that rhythm come together. Okay, so you'll be getting into, if you haven't quite gotten into that part, that's what you'll be getting into. And I talk about them in short sections. So like I talk about word stress here, sentence stress here, intonation here, but really it's kind of like baking a cake where you put all those together and then you mix it up and you use them all together, and that's what creates the rhythm. Okay, so that's the trick there. I cannot roll my tongue. I have problem pronouncing the words R. Example, world and war. So I don't want you to be rolling your tongue. That's actually not the way the English R is. So Catherine, you there? Catherine Lee? Are you there? Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what she's talking about, but as far as rolling your tongue. But here's what, with the R sound, and we talk about very much in detail in week 4 of the program, but the R, a lot of languages will say r, word, word, and kind of come up and tap their tongue to the roof of their mouth, and that's what we can call like a rolled R. Okay, a rolled R is when it comes and taps the top of the mouth. But what happens with an English R is your tongue is down for the most part. I've heard actually some R people say the R sound correctly, and they kind of have their tongue rolled up a little bit. But the way I teach it is you pull your tongue down and you bunch up the back of your tongue in your throat. So that it's more of that sound. So like world. A good one, world is a tricky word for non-native English speakers to say. So the way I like to gauge this is like were you there, were, kind of get comfortable with were, and then old has that dark L, old, were old, and kind of break it apart and then slowly bring it together. And that's the best way I've found to be able to get that sound correct. And then war, kind of or gets that O, and then we pull our tongue back, war. All right. So Catherine, hopefully you were able to catch that. How about the T in great? Great job. What I do is, depending on the next word, and this kind of goes back to the question about wheat. If people are having a hard time, are misunderstanding you when you say great and don't fully pronounce that T at the end, then pronounce it. Make sure that that's nice and clear. Great job. But if you're connecting it, great job, I'm always putting my T in that position for the T. I'm not always releasing it. Great job. But if people are having a hard time understanding you in certain words with T at the end, then pronounce it. That's the go-to is make sure that you just release that sound. Great job, it's nice and well understood. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try and no, I like the question. So Edison says, last one I promise. No, I like the question, so keep them coming. Been and being. So I'm guaranteeing that you are not the only one that's having a hard time between some of these sounds. So this is what's interesting about these two is been, the way that native speakers say it, instead of being, I've been doing fine. We pronounce it as bin, like I have a bin or a big box, a bin of clothes. So being has that ing in it. Been, being. So Edelson, you're gonna get to show me what you are talking about here. So Edelson, go ahead and tell me, show me those two words, been, being.
Okay. Ben, being.
Yeah, okay, good. So being, yeah, been, being.
Ben, being.
So you want to make sure that been is with a short I and not S, because otherwise it's going to sound like Ben. Okay, so Ben and bin you want to be different. So say these two for me. Say bin, ben.
Ben, bean.
Okay, so that,
Ben,
so bin,
ben,
bin,
bean,
ben.
ben.
Okay, ben, good. So you want to, so in week 6, you're going to go over the short I, and I think that's going to be a one for you to pay attention to, is so you can get that in. Say in for me.
Ben.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so it's those short vowels that are kind of getting mixed up a little bit for you. So I want to make sure that in the short, as you get into short vowels in week 6 and 7, that you're really paying attention to those. Okay.
Okay, I've been struggling with myself to learn to pronounce this word. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
You're welcome. Yeah, just concentrate on that short I. I've been struggling. I like that. All right, good job. Okay, Filmson says, I can't figure out the voiceless TH sound. It sounds like the voiced TH sound, but not so loud. Can you do a voiceless word with a voiced TH sound so I can hear the difference? So he's in week 2, which is when we talk about that TH sound. So just getting into it. So the difference between the voiced and voiceless, you're right, it does sound a little bit louder. But the difference is the voicing or the vibration that's happening in your throat. So for like think, and this, think it's just an airflow. Air is just coming through. Think. So it's just airflow. If you feel your throat, it's just, there's not a lot of friction to it. And think of it as like friction, because that voice kind of feels like there's that friction going on. Think versus this. And sometimes it is about just like, if you're thinking about it, just like, oh, it is a little bit louder when that's the voiced sound. This. But essentially what you're doing is you're turning on your voice there at the beginning. So Filmson, I'm going to have you say these for me. Filmson, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so will you say these two sounds for me? Or these two words?
Think.
Go ahead.
Think. This.
Yeah. So you're doing it correct where you're turning on your voice for that th sound. Think this. So naturally, the voice TH is going to be louder because you're using your voice, whereas the voiceless is just air coming out. It's kind of the difference between s and z sound. Okay, the
Okay.
voice is always going to
Okay.
be a little bit louder because it's using your voice. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good. Edelson says, I hope I survive to be able to learn everything. Oh, you will. There are many before you that have gone through and it's really challenging. And I understand this, that you go through this program. It's not easy. It's not just a casual, oh yeah, I can casually kind of go through this and get the amazing results that it can provide. Olubenga can definitely testify to the fact that it takes practice and work and concentration. But if you follow the program, follow step by step, and really put the attention to it, that you really can then speak in front of 800 native speakers and feel confident and get a lot of compliments from it. All right, good. Let's see. Oh, Catherine, let's see. I'm gonna try unmuting you again. Catherine, you there? Let's see. Can you unmute me? So Catherine, are you there? Okay. Darn, we're having a hard time connecting there with your microphone. I'll keep you unmuted just in case you're able to join, respond here. So Vathani, let's see, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. What I'm using is American sounds, English sounds, while I'm trying to pronounce your name, which there are probably different sounds in your names than than what I have in my sound repertoire at this point in my life. Okay, so words, education. Okay, so I'm gonna, Vithani, I'm gonna unmute you. Vithani, are you there? Vithani?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, hello.
Hello. Okay,
I'm okay.
so tell me, I hear,
It's,
let's see, it say words,
yes,
tell me the words, because it's, you wrote reducation, but did you mean education?
pronunciation. Let me say pronunciation. There is an O sound. Is it the O is silent?
Pronunciation, for the word pronunciation.
Exactly.
Yeah, so pronunciation is this, pronunciation. So
Pro- pro- Pronunciation.
exactly.
Oh,
Pronunciation. So the stress is on none and a. Pronunciation.
great. So
Okay?
I do have these questions.
Yeah.
Which letter to drop in a word?
So what letter to drop in a word? So not necessarily in the word pronunciation, but other words? Or are you talking specifically to the word pronunciation?
Currently, I was thinking about pronunciation.
Okay. So as far as dropped syllables, and I actually have a worksheet that if you're interested in getting this worksheet, email me after the webinar and just say, hey, can I have the dropped syllable worksheet or the dropped sounds or vowels worksheet, and I'll send it to you. And in the new site, so just to let you all know, our plan is to have it launching at the end of May, but we have a brand new website that we're working on right now. And so a lot of the things like these worksheets that I've developed, they'll be on the new site, but I haven't necessarily added them to the current site. So we're kind of getting that new site all built and plugged in. So the reduced syllables, words like family, so it's not family, it's family, and like what are some other ones? I'm going to have a hard time remembering. But there are certain words in English that there is like a dropped sound and a dropped vowel sound or a syllable that a lot of English speakers have just naturally done. So I have a whole list of them. So anyone who's interested in that list, email me after the webinar and I will I'll send that off to you. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. And in pronunciation, there's no dropped sounds in here, but there are reduced sounds. So like instead of pronunciation, we say pra. And that has to do with because that first syllable is not stressed. Like we said, none and a are stressed, but not that first one. So that's where the reduced vowel kind of comes in. So when it's not a, oops, I think the audio is not working here. Here, hold on just a second. I think the audio is not working yet. Let me just wait a second and see if it's coming back. Okay, so the audio kind of cut there for a second. So I was just going through some of the comments here. So let's see. All right, so I think we got that one going. I'm just kind of scrolling through. I know we're out of time, so I don't want to keep you for too long. The webinar for this course will be posted on the webinars page. I usually try and get that up after 2 days. Vimal is asking about the March 30th webinar, why is that not posted? And I was kind of torn between posting it because I was having problems with my throat during that webinar, and so I kept coughing. And so, but I will get that up. So because you requested it, I'll make sure that gets up. I just felt bad because I kept coughing. It was a rough webinar for me. Edel said, I'm glad that you're working so hard and you're driving your wife crazy because you're practicing so much. I love that. That's good. So we have talked about some of the vowel sounds, but there's more vowel sounds. We've talked about all the vowel sounds. So yeah, Film Sims asking, did we cover all the vowel sounds? Yes, we did. The only part of the webinar I was going to go into was just putting all of those in sentences instead of just individual words. Okay, so I think we got through them. Yay! Okay, so yes, I am doing fine now. My throat's fine. I was just having a case of allergies last webinar, so all is good now. Thank you for coming today. Very happy that you're here. There were so many good questions, and I hope it was helpful for you. This is the kind of experience that I hope for in these webinars, is that you can get your questions answered, get some feedback, get some understanding about what it is that you need to be practicing and working on to make the most out of it. So hold on, I just want to make sure. Olubenga, let me unmute you. Hi, Olubenga, you there? Are you there? Let's see. Okay, so I think there might have been a few technical problems on this webinar. Hopefully everyone was able to hear everything. Maria asks, do you have any pronunciation classes to attend in person? I don't currently. It's in the future plans to be able to have certain places that we go and do workshops at, but at this stage, that's not quite in the works yet. But stay on our mailing list, and we'll let you know as you go along. But as for right now, go through the 12-week course, and then look forward to the alumni course that will be coming. And I'm hoping by the latest, the end of June. I keep pushing the deadline back, but it's more because of the new website. We want to make sure the new website's up and running and working well before I add on the alumni course. But that's going to be coming, and so we'll just keep adding more and more help for you as we go along. That's the goal with this, is to make sure that we're giving you the support and the help that you need in the way that you need it. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I think I could stay on here forever, just kind of chatting with you guys. And but there will be another webinar in a couple of weeks. I haven't posted that yet, the dates for that yet, but I will do that today. Okay, so look on the webinars section of the site, and either today or tomorrow it'll be up on the site. All right, thank you so much for coming. Pleasure is always mine, and keep practicing, keep working, and I promise it will pay off for you. All right, let's see. Let me just make sure. If you have any other questions or need anything, feel free to contact me here at Annie@pronunciationpro.com. If you're interested in getting that reduced or that dropped syllables or sounds worksheet, send me an email and say, hey, I want it, and I'll send that out to you. But I'll also be adding that to the new website on the bonus lessons for you. All right, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next webinar. Thanks.